Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. It's another solo session today. I'll be working on SaturnCI, my CI platform that I'm working on. I'll share my screen and we'll get going. Okay, what I'm working on now is the ability to SSH into a machine that runs a job. So let me kind of explain what that means. Um, each time you run the test suite in Saturn, it's called build. So each one of these things on the left here is a build, and then a build has one or more jobs. You can see here, I can click on these various jobs. That is for parallelism so that the builds can be faster. Um, what I want is to be able to SSH into the machines that run these jobs because as I'm developing and troubleshooting and stuff like that, it's necessary to be able to log into these jobs, sorry, SSH into these jobs and kind of see what's going on. I can do that via the DigitalOcean console, but it's a bit inconvenient and annoying, and it makes the dev cycle longer and less pleasant. So that's why I'm wanting to add the ability to SSH. Hey, Hassan. Okay. So I'll share kind of where I'm at. Okay. So I figured out with the help of ChatGPT that when I initialize a job machine, I can pass SSH keys. And then somehow I can use those SSH keys to SSH in without needing to use a password. What I actually don't understand is how I can use those SSH keys. So that's the first thing I want to find out before I go any further. Okay, so I'm going to share this method with ChatGPT. I'm going to say after I initialize a droplet with an SSH key, how do I actually um, get that? No. How does a user actually get the SSH key and then use it to SSH into a machine? Right. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically what I thought. And we need a way for the user to automatically get the SSH key. So it's like when a machine is initialized, it needs to be initialized with a certain SSH key. And then when a user wants to SSH into the machine, they need to automatically be given the key. So they have the key on their local machine so they can SSH. Okay. So right now the command to SSH into a job, this will not work, but the command to SSH into a job is this. Saturn CI job ID SSH. Um, and we need to make it so when you run this, first you download the SSH key associated with that job's machine and then use it to SSH in. So here's the method where you SSH in. We need to add something here. Download the jobs SSH key. And I think we want to I'll be more specific. Um, get the jobs SSH key from the Saturn CI API. Okay. So I think it would be something like request job slash job ID slash SSH key. Something like that. I'm actually going to blow away all this stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to say this. Okay. And then I'm just going to do puts SSH key. So if I try that right now, it's obviously like going to totally fail. I think it actually fails even before it gets there because that job doesn't even exist. So let's get a job going. I'll just rerun this job. Sorry, I'll rerun this build. Oh, I have to. Okay, job machine request. I messed with this, so I have to like fix it. Oh, SSH keys, empty array. Okay. Okay. So now if I do SaturnCI jobs, it shows us a couple jobs. Okay. And that did not work. The reason being undefined method IP address for nil class. Okay. I happen to know what this is. Um, the job machine is not ready to accept connections yet. It doesn't have an IP address. So I just did it too soon. Okay. Yeah, I still have to wait. Eventually, what I want is obviously I don't want a raw error when this scenario happens. I want to just wait and continually poll the machine, um, and then just SSH in when the machine is ready for that. Okay, either we're still waiting or there's some bug. Okay, so here I can see that these machines have IP addresses. It may be that there's just a bug. So I'm going to take all these changes that I've made and I'm going to stash them. Then I'll run this again and see what happens. Okay, it still says undefined method IP address. Interesting. Okay. So I still don't know if it's a bug or if it's just genuinely not ready. I'm going to try this. Okay, so it is ready. Let me do this again. Okay, there's just a bug. Okay, let's go to jobs controller. Oh, job is nil. Okay. Okay. Well, that would obviously explain it. Huh, interesting. Um, job that order created at descending limit to dot map ID. Okay. So neither of those jobs matches that ID that I gave it. Oh, huh, I grabbed the build ID. Okay. I suspect we'll get some other kind of failure now. What is it doing? Um, okay, it's supposed to be just doing puts job. Oh, okay. So I still have that binding that pry. Jobs controller. Okay. Okay, so that works. Now let's bring back our stashed stuff. Okay, so same thing happened. I'm actually surprised we didn't get an error because it's supposed to puts this SSH key. This is confusing. Okay, it says SSH key and then it gives this. Oh yeah, that's because I'm not setting this response. Okay, now what do we get? Okay, I was expecting an error. No route matches blah 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 SSH key. Yep. Okay, so we have to add an endpoint for SSH keys. Okay, so I'm going to add a new test file for SSH keys. Spec API v1. Okay, spec API v1. Um, sorry, mixture dash p spec API v1 jobs SSH keys. Yeah, and I'll say SSH keys SSH keys spec.rb, I guess. And I'll copy this, describe SSH keys. Okay, and I'll say it returns the 200 response. Okay, but it's not job path, it's what is it? Job SSH key path? I'm not sure. Where does API authorization headers come from? I don't know. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, undefined job. Yeah, let's create a job. Okay, undefined blah blah blah. That makes sense because we don't have it. Let's go to the routes file. So inside of jobs, let's have SSH keys. SSH keys only show. Okay. Missing required keys ID. Maybe I have to do it like this. Okay, no route matches. Missing required keys job ID. Okay. Oh, yeah, all right. It thinks I'm looking for like a specific SSH key, but it's not a database record. There's no like ID for it. Maybe I do resource SSH key. Okay, API authorization headers. Do I need this? Apparently so. Okay. So now it's saying it can't find the controller, which makes sense because it doesn't exist. API job controller. So we'll create one called SSH keys controller. Okay. No show action, not surprising. Missing template. Okay. Now we can make it, well, we can just say render JSON empty thing like that. I think that should make the test pass. It does. Okay. So we obviously are going to want it to return something real, but for now, let's see what happens if we do this. Um, oh, okay. See how it's looking for SSH keys controller with a lowercase s and h? That's because I added SSH to my inflections file in my config, but I didn't restart my server. Here, I added this, but then I didn't restart my server. So I think that's why that's happening. Let's run the job command again. Okay, now it just gives me an empty object. Okay, I want my commits to be atomic. So let's sort out this mess. What did I do to this? All right, I don't want to commit that. I do want to commit this. I also do want to commit my route change. Let's see about the client. Okay, I do want to commit the client change. I, of course, do want to commit the SSH keys controller and this new test. But all that other stuff is just like spike stuff. I'm going to review these changes before I commit them. As always, yeah, everything looks right. Add SSH keys controller. Yes. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Shit. That's actually easy to fix though. Um, in fact, I don't think it even really matters because all that I really committed was this commented out thing and a tiny refactoring. So even though that was a mistake, it's not really a huge deal. I'm gonna take this other stuff and just whoops and stash it so I don't make similar mistakes in the future. Okay, I'm gonna push this so the tests run on Saturn. Why is that taking so long? Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, great. Um, so now I think we want to make our SSH key controller return a real SSH key. Do we? Well, first we need to initialize our machine with an SSH key. So I'll take that thing I just stashed and I'll unstash it. Are you using React on the front end or is this all Rails right now? All Rails, Rails and Hotwire. Okay, so I'm gonna go to job machine request. And now I do want to do this job machine SSH key.create thing. Job machine SSH key. So I have not even run this code yet, so I don't know if it works. But we're doing client.sshkeys.create. What's client? It's this droplet kit client factory, the DigitalOcean thing, DigitalOcean SDK. And then we're calling this method on the SDK and passing it this SSH key. Um, I'm just trying to think if this code worked, how would I even know? How would I know? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna ask that of ChatGPT. I'm now passing an SSH key to DigitalOcean when I initialize a droplet. If my SSH key attachment or whatever you want to call it were to be successful, how would I know? Okay. Okay, so let's see. When do I even invoke job machine request? Okay, it's when I start a job. Okay. So I could, for example, so I can't really write a test for this because it's a total external dependency, but I can at least raise an error if the key creation is not successful. SSH into the droplet, API response. Okay, I can get the SSH key fingerprint. Okay. So let's do this. Let's put a binding.pry right here. And then after we create a job, we can check for the fingerprint. So I suspect that if I rerun a build, oh, okay. Okay, so already my class doesn't work. The job machine SSH key class does not work because it's looking for client, but it says there is no such thing. Undefined local variable or method client for job machine SSH key class. Weird because it's right here. Okay. Droplet kit, client factory. Okay. And this is another thing that's hard to write automated tests for because of all the external dependencies. Oh, okay. This is a class method, not an instance method. Yeah, okay. Okay, so maybe I can do this. By the way, it's weird that my class job machine SSH key has a method called SSH key. Does the SSH key have an SSH key? This should maybe be, I don't know. For the moment, I'll call it droplet kit SSH key. Okay. I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. I'm gonna say job machine SSH key equals job machine SSH key dot new job. Then I'll say SSH keys equals job machine SSH key dot what? What was I doing before? Hmm. Dot dot what? Maybe dot hmm dot ID? I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, we're initializing this here. So I'm going to do def initialize job. Oh, I already have initialized. Okay. Okay. Client SSH keys create. I'm getting mixed up and confused. Okay. We have our job machine SSH key, client.ssh keys.create droplet kit SSH key. Okay. I think my like domain concepts are mixed up. Let's instead, let's not get quite so fancy yet. Okay, so first of all, we have this client, then we have this RSA key. Okay, then we have this SSH key. Okay, and then we have this. And then here, I think we do SSH key dot ID. Okay. And I think there's a very low chance that this will work, but we'll give it a swing. Okay, RSA key file name. Okay, where are we getting that error? Job machine RSA key. That should just be file name. Okay. Okay, it can't find the RSA key file path. All right. This is maybe something I can work with. Okay. So let's zoom in now and let's write a test for this. Okay, let's create a folder called spec jobs. Um, Job machines, models. I'm going to go into spec jobs, job machines, models, job machine, RSA key, spec.rb. Okay, describe job machine RSA key, do. Okay, I'm going to say it creates a file. So I'm going to say job machine RSA key equals job machine RSA key dot new. First, I'm just going to run that much and see what happens. Uninitialized constant. Yeah, require Rails helper. Wrong number of arguments. It takes a job. Okay. Okay, so far so good. We're gonna expect we're gonna expect a file. Okay. Expect a file to exist with the name job machine RSA key dot file path. And I will have ChatGPT help me with this. Okay. Whoops, I don't know why I put it there. Okay. Expected true got false. Okay. Okay, now the question is, why is it false? Put a pry here. Okay, so the tempter name is temp SaturnCI. Okay. But there's kind of a problem. we have all this stuff from before. We want to use like some unique directory that's only for testing. So we can do this. Oh, wait, do I want to do that? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I can save this. Okay, and then instead of using this, we'll use this. Okay. And then here we can say, okay, let tempter name rails.root.join temp um, SaturnCI. Okay, and then in temp SaturnCI, whoops, this temp, a folder doesn't even exist. Okay. So now let's run this. Okay, and we can do system ls tempter name. Oh, what is tempter name? It's unchanged. Okay, that is a bit surprising. Oh, because I'm not passing it in. Okay. Okay. There we go. That is what do you call it? Not surprising. Okay. So I do see some stuff there. File path. Okay, file path. Okay, file.exist. File.exist file path. It's false. Interesting. Hmm. And I see that the file name is different. It's interesting. Okay. Why might that be? File name. Oh, because the file name changes each time. Because we're doing this secure random.hex thing. Okay, let's just do this. And then we can do adder reader file name there. Okay, so now if we run the test and just let it go, it passes. Okay, that is what I expected. Okay, that's great. But something that's not great is that, oops, this directory here is getting filled up with stuff. So we want to clear that directory after we use it. How do I add a teardown to my test? Um, that deletes all the files in tempter name. Okay. Okay, now I'll run this test again. Great, it's empty. Okay, wonderful. So now I will add this. Whoops. Okay, and now I'm going to commit this, being very careful only to commit what I intend to commit. I guess I'll say add job machine RSA key. Okay, great. Okay, and how's the tests doing over here? My local machine seems slow, or there's a binding.pry. Whoa. Okay, we got some weird stuff happening. Um, we'll see if this most recent one passes. What happened here? I'm gonna run this locally and see what happens. Okay, apparently something weird's going on here. Oh, okay, it's making an SSH key request. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here's why this is happening. It's making this request here, but we never stubbed it. So let's stub that. And we don't need it to return anything meaningful, so we can just put an empty object there, empty hash. Oh yeah, and we're expecting it to output something, but it doesn't. Okay, let's do this. Whoops. Did I commit something? Oh no, okay. This is just like scratch stuff anyway. So let's just comment it. Puts job, is that what we had before? There. Okay. Okay, and that at least makes that test go back to passing. Who knows about anything else? Okay. Now we can come back to here. And when we do a job machine request, now I'm expecting that file path to be correct. So let's hit rerun on a job and see what happens. No errors. Oh, and I wanted that binding to that prize so I could see the response. Okay. Okay. Let's do that again. I'm going to delete this job. Sorry, I meant delete this build. All right, now I'll rerun. Okay. And now After that stuff happens, we can droplet request. Droplet request. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff there. And we're looking for the SSH key fingerprint or whatever. Okay. It's not immediately clear how to get it. So we'll ask ChatGPT and I'll show it where that came from. How do I see the SSH key fingerprint or whatever? It's kind of stuck apparently. Droplet. Okay, let's see if we can beat it. DigitalOcean droplet Ruby SDK. Okay. Client.ssh keys. Well, we can do client.ssh keys.all. Client.ssh keys.all. I don't know what this will tell us, but it'll tell us something, I guess. Okay. It's not immediately obvious what I'm looking at. Okay, there's apparently 5. Don't really know what that means. Let's maybe look a little more carefully now. Hmm. Yeah, I find that somewhat inscrutable. I'm not sure what this ID thing is. The ID of what? ID of a droplet? Droplet request.id. Okay, SSH keys.find ID droplet request.id. Okay. 404, but who knows what that may or may not mean. Okay. That's not what I want. No, my objective is to see whether the SSH key was successfully associated with my newly created droplet. I'll just let this go. It would just time out anyway, eventually. Okay, yeah, we'll get our hands on the ID. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah, because there's 2 jobs. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna do this. Droplet details equals that. Then we have the SSH keys. Um, I actually don't even feel the need to do that. We'll just do that much and then we'll do the rest in the console. Mm-mm. Oh, okay. Don't know what that was all about, but whatever. Okay, rerun. Hmm. Okay. I made a mistake. Okay. Droplet details. Okay. Dot what? Dot SSH keys. Whoops. Keys. There we go. Okay, nil. So it was not successful. Okay, so we can do this. Droplet details dot um SSH keys dot any. So we can do unless there are any raise no SSH keys associated with droplet. Failed to associate any SSH keys with droplet. Okay. So now instead of having to mess around with the console, oh, that's still blocked. Okay, instead of having to mess around with the console, we can presumably just hit rerun and then see an exception. Oh, okay. Okay. So now we can see that we failed to associate any SSH keys with the droplet. And now the question, of course, is why? So let's do some more diagnostics. Got to wrap up in about 5 minutes. Okay, let's see what SSH key is. Okay, it has a name, has a fingerprint, has an ID. But I would guess that just passing an ID wouldn't be enough. Because why would it? How would DigitalOcean get any of the... Oh, okay, Droplet Kit. We're creating that SSH key on DigitalOcean somewhere, apparently. Yes. Okay, we're creating that SSH key on DigitalOcean. Okay. And then we associate it. Yeah, I see. Okay. But then it's not successfully getting associated. Oh, creating these droplets will exceed your droplet limit. I must have a bunch of them. Okay, not that many. Apparently my droplet limit is fairly low. All right, I'm going to delete all my existing droplets. Um, Bear with me while I do that. Oh, I did it quite recently, so that didn't take much time to conjure up that command. Okay. They're not all gone. Maybe it just takes a second. I don't know. Um, but that's fine because that's enough. Just out of curiosity, RSA key dot file path. Okay. And then can I do this file dot read? Okay. Yeah, that looks correct. Looks like an SSA, looks like an RSA key to me, but still it failed to associate any. Okay. Let's try to figure out why. When I run this, it says that it failed to associate any SSH keys with the droplet. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Okay. So maybe I shouldn't be trying to check it right away. I'm gonna look more into this. How do I know when it's safe to check the droplet? Yeah, no shit, I can use a polling mechanism, but what do I pull for? Status. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna bother to create that polling thing. I'm gonna do this. Droplet details dot status. Okay, it's new. And I guess if I want it to be fresh, I have to repeatedly do this. I don't know how long it takes. Um, okay, active. All right. Now droplet details dot SSH keys. Why can't I type keys? There we go. Still nil. Okay. 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 But I do want to change that, I think. Let's wait until it's active to check. I guess a lot of these are getting stuck and running. Um, okay. Man, this is like gonna clutter things up to the point of being confusing. Maybe I don't actually want to worry about that right now. Okay. And I have to go like as soon as I can. Okay. I'm gonna say this. even after the droplet is active, it has no SSH keys. Okay, DigitalOcean control panel. Let's check that. Where can I look at my SSH keys? Okay. Where can I see my SSH keys? Could it be here? Okay. Where in the DigitalOcean UI can I see my SSH keys? Security. Doesn't seem to be one of these items. Account. Okay. Seems like a weird place. Also, I don't see it. Where else might it be? Let's just Google it. SSH, whoops, DigitalOcean SSH keys. My goodness, this is slow. SSH keys. What the heck is by DigitalOcean? Okay, I don't care about that. Okay. I don't know if there's a way to like just list your maybe we can do it via the SDK instead. Okay, thanks, Hassan. See you next time. Okay, so maybe after I do this, I can verify the successful creation. Maybe right after this, I can use the SDK to check to see whether the SSH key creation was successful. Okay. Let's say unless SSH key dot ID dot present raise SSH key creation not successful. Okay, and I'm actually just going to get rid of this. And the only thing I'm curious about right now is this part. Was the SSH key creation successful? Okay. It raised no error, so I assume that the creation was successful. But again, the SSH key is not getting associated with the machine. Okay. I'll leave a comment for next time. The SSH key creation is successful. Whoops. Successful, apparently successful, but it appears that the key is not getting associated with the droplet. Okay, so next time I pick up with this, I'll be able to see this comment here and be reminded what I was doing. Okay, well, thanks as always for watching, and I will see you next time.